Hey, good evening, folks. Rob Burke, Woke and WuVille Boston tonight. It's Friday night at the fights, and we're talking about a subject corruption and the old famous public records request. Always a fan favorite. And with my host today, Catherine Vitale, running for Boston City Council at large. Catherine, how are you tonight?
Fabulous.
What's going on?
So, well, first of all, I'm running for Boston City Council at large. If you want to follow my campaign, you can go to vitaleforboston.com. If you want to follow the show, go to wokeandwuville.boston. And are we taking calls tonight?
Yeah. I'm just going to put this up here for you.
Oh, look at you.
I'm I'm the man. I'm at the controls here. Yeah. So listen, this is great. Listen, hey, we're on the warpath here. We get a big enemy, and so that was fun, whatever that was. Hey, so anyways, yeah, Catherine, we always want to have. I guess I got to go to the next one and show that one. Okay, here's the phone number: 617-915-4009. Purpose of that is to give us a ring, and maybe we have to do a couple different things on how we can do it. Put you on a speakerphone. Hopefully, we can do it that way, or that's pretty much what it is. You can send us let me see the chat lines open, chat box open.
Yes.
Are we chatting? Okay, we're chatting here. Yeah. So listen, we want to have people participate because it's a lot easier when we hear you speak, and hopefully we talk about topics that affects everybody. The other team's on the warpath, and they're never stopping. Okay, they use the courts against us. I always say it's the process, not the punishment. They get you all tied up. You can't go anyplace, and they just wear you out because that's what they do. They're professional sitters. All they do is sit. And then when you get close to them, they do the following: change the rules, move the goalpost, get a new judge, get whatever they do. So, Catherine, what brought this to your attention as a Boston City Council at large?
So, I mean, this has been at our attention for a while now because a number of people over the past 2 or so years have been filing public records requests, also known as FOIA's, Freedom of Information Act. And the government is supposed to have 10 business days to get back to you when you make a public records request. They're either supposed to send you the public records that were requested or give you a detailed description of why they're denying you or why they need an extension. And I mean, when we think about the Constitution and the history of the United States government and what the government is meant to do and to be, all public records should be available to the public. It doesn't make any sense that anything would ever be denied or that we should have to pay, because sometimes you have to pay for public records.
Do you think they put this in effect because they're doing a good job?
I
Think about that.
But we have a friend who was an elected official in another town in Massachusetts, and even while being an elected official was made to pay for his public records requests.
Listen, I mean, the city of Boston has enough money, and they do. They have got tons of money.
Yeah,
but not for us.
It makes no sense. The government is supposed to work at the will of the people.
Have you had a recent experience with this? Because I know I just have, but I was just wondering if you've been put into the rabbit hole of I'm busy, no staff, I'll get back to you, almost there, still looking. I need some kind of a question about, I didn't know what you meant. Have you been there yet?
Not me personally, but if you, I'm sure most of the people that follow us also know or follow Michelle Effendi, and she has an extensive history of having to wait forever and a day for public records requests. And she has even proven that there have been records omitted from requests that she's gotten, because she would put in a request for a certain, phrase or name or whatever. And then, like a month or so later, somebody else would do the same type of request and get documents that she also should have gotten in hers.
Would you call
So,
it's ridiculous. Hello, Joe Rock. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining the Friday night fight night here. And shame on Wu. Yeah, but the whole thing is this. Here's the deal. You got a request. You can do it on a piece of paper. And you can have a simple question from point one date all the way to the next date. They've got 10 business days to do this. And by the way, our friend, Mr. Williams in Boston, that runs the Boston City records, he used to work for the Secretary of State. He told me that he was the one that put the verbiage together for the request, the language. I said, fantastic. Fantastic. And then he told me that, this is, we have short staff. I said, I don't care. I don't want to hear that. I don't care about your staff. Okay. Listen, if you don't have staff, you can hire us. We'll do our own FOIAs. We'll come in and be part-timers and run the machine, press a few buttons. This is nonsense. This is just a stall job. But that's my experience with Mr. Williams. So a lot of people out there, Effendi, Michelle Effendi told me about a week ago that 15 months, you're on the short list, Free. You're on the short list. She told me that she'd been going through all this crap, and she can never get what she needs. And we have to make sure we hold these people accountable. So what do you think would be the first step? What do you think a good first step would be?
So there is a Twitter account called Massachusetts Free Press that 15 months I've been waiting for a FOIA. Yeah. There's a Twitter account called Massachusetts Free Press that put in a FOIA in June for any and all communications relating to the 15 names on Michelle Wu's hit list.
The list.
Okay. So they did us a favor by filing this FOIA. And they just posted today at 5:28 p.m. City of Boston broke public records law by covering up for the Wu Train hit list, ordered to respond by Secretary of Mass, which is
now, is that with the boys in the North End? Is that going with that story, or is this a new story who filed the FOIA? The last group you just talked to, they filed their own for the 15 names.
Yes.
And then now didn't the boys over the North End's lawyer also file for the list too?
In discovery with that case.
I filed on July 16th.
Also, the same day or the day after, the same day that it was reported that Mendoza's lawyer filed that in their discovery, me and Shannon also filed it in our discovery for our case. So, I mean, we all want answers on this hit list.
Mr. Williams.
Massachusetts, hold on. Massachusetts Free Press says, we sent FOIA regarding names on the hit list. The city wasn't responding to our FOIA, so we appealed to the Secretary of State, Bill Galvin's office, and today we won. So they posted a letter dated for today that is addressed to Attorney Williams, Sean Williams at City Hall, that says, I have received the petition of Massachusetts Free Press requestor appealing the non-response of the City of Boston to requests for public records. On June 25th, 2023, the requester sought the following records pertaining to communications and city government. And the request was all records, including but not in any way limited to emails, voicemails, audio of recorded phone calls, and all metadata for the phone calls, texts, any paper record, meeting minutes, and all other records held by the City of Boston that contain the keywords, and then it says 14 identified
Hold on, hold
individuals.
on. You said that there's a list right there. Okay, you got emails, phone calls, text
Mm-hmm.
messages, all that type of things.
Mm-hmm.
Williams told me, "Oh, it's just emails." That's what he told me.
No, that's
That's
not
what
true.
I'm just telling you what he told me. He worked for the Secretary of State. I told you that, right? He worked for
Yeah.
the Secretary of State, and he was the one to put the language together for the FOIA. So he was
Mm-hmm.
telling me that he's well aware of the law. I say, I know. The reason I'm calling you is because you were supposed to get back to me with my request in 10 days. And then you sent me some email to stall me on something about a clarification. I said, what do we got to clarify? I want anything pertaining to Rob Burke or Robert Burke from the date of June, I think it was 21 to the current date, which was, I think it was the end of June of 23. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing unbelievable. And he told me he's got a small staff. I said, I don't care. I don't care about your staff. Believe me, there's plenty of people in Boston can do this. Press a button. They've got some probably sneaky shit going on. Enough of these people. And then he said to me something else. I went by and visited him the other day. I dropped in. I dropped in on his office, and we had been in that office before. The last time when we were over at the city hall, when we were inside of Wu's office, and they directed us over to legal. He works out of that legal office, the same one we went into. So when I went into that office, the lady looked at me and the other lady that when you were in the conference room, they both looked at me, and I'm smiling, and it was like, looking for Mr. Williams, please. Oh, well, maybe ma'am. They directed me here. He works here. Is he in? Well, no, he's not. He's an assistant. It was like a drop down out of Amityville Horror with these people. It didn't matter. Whatever they said, it wasn't true, half truth, or whatever. So that's the office that he's supposed to work at. So I received an email back from him, which he indicated, well, I understand that you dropped by. I said, yeah, because you were supposed to do something and you didn't. And then he said, well, you should call because this and that. I said, sir, no, I want that list because you people in that office put me on that list. The mayor took the list and gave it to the police department. I want that list. And that was it. No more being nice with these people. They have a job to do. We got to hold them accountable. End of story. Nothing personal, Mr. Sean Williams, who knows everything. Hey, I don't know the guy personally, but I don't really give a shit about these people. These people are not going to help us. So go ahead, Catherine. I'm sorry.
So, the letter goes on to say that the requester is claiming to not yet have received a response. The requester petitioned this office and this appeal was open as a result. It says, subsequently, I learned that the city intends on providing a written response to the requester. Accordingly, the city is ordered to provide the requester with a response to the request provided in a manner consistent with this order, the public records law, and its regulations within 10 business days. A copy of any such response must be provided to this office. It is preferable to send an electronic copy of this response to this office. The requester may appeal the substantive nature of the city's response within 90 days. So basically, the Secretary of State's office stepped in and said, hey, you have 10 days. Once again, do your job. So there's so many issues with this. We've had so many people that have complained in frustration on social media about their public records requests not being answered by the city of Boston and even by other municipalities and even the state. So who were you just talking to?
Can you hear me now? Yeah, Michelle Effendi's going to be calling. I couldn't
She's
call
calling me right now.
Yeah,
Hold
she's
on.
going to call you right now. Michelle Effendi was one of the all-stars that was very firm. You got her? Can you hear her? Go ahead. There's a delay probably. I can't hear you, Catherine. You're muted. You're muted. One second, folks. She's just calling in from Florida, so she's got a good story. She's been at this for a while. Here you go. Still muted.
Rob, can you
Got it.
speak, please, to make sure that she can hear you?
Michelle, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can.
Oh, you sound good, Michelle. How you doing down at FLA?
Yeah, so I turned into the FOIA queen, I guess. But
Yeah.
I appreciate you bringing light to the subject because it is so chaotic and confusing. And I think that I've actually applied for like 83 FOIAs since probably 2022 when
83
I started.
FOIAs.
Michelle, walk us through walk us through the first one you did, and then tell us about the last
first
one.
I did was for all that surety bond crap.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember that?
Yes,
and
yes,
all the constitutionalists were like, "Oh, just take their bonds," stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I want to sue you personally.
I asked for their bonds, and then they replied back saying, "We don't have surety bonds," and I was like, and then I had to. So they asked for clarification, and
the clarification word.
Yeah, like you said. So I had to use a different word, and I did that dance a couple of times. And really, the first one that I ever asked for, I asked for like 20 things. I asked for each oath of the mayor and the Boston City Council oath of office for all of their bonds. Like, it was a huge list. So since then, I've learned that you really need to be much more specific. Yeah. And I'll even ask for like something in two different ways on separate requests, thinking like, I doubt that they're going to give me that in that way. Might as well just ask in this way too. And I was also coached to ask or to use the word concerning because,
yes.
For example, I've asked for public records with my name twice. And the second time that I did, I received a FOIA dump. And that's what I talked to Jeff Cooner about. And they gave me things that, as Catherine mentioned, they should have the first time and didn't. And when the second time, when I got that dump, one of the things that they gave me was a email that got sent around to all the freedom museums. And it referred to a woman who, with her kids, was going into the museum without a vax passport, and it spoke about me, but it didn't say my name. However, they said, "Here's an attachment," and on the attachment was a picture of me that they had taken from YouTube because I did an interview in the past. And on that picture, it said my name in the picture. So it wasn't even like it read my name. It didn't via typing say my name. It was in the picture. So that's really why the word concerning is important, because they were speaking about me, but it didn't say my name in a way that their quote unquote comprehensive search should pull up. They're supposed to look for stuff that involves me, whether they're saying my name, whether they're referring to me as she, them, it, or, whether it's a picture of myself.
These people have an enormous database, okay? They're probably using facial recognition. They're probably using all sorts of stuff. These people, listen, we got to compare the responses because it's all probably boilerplate, That word that I used and you used, those aren't common words. We need you to clarify something. What do you mean to clarify something? I want the information from these two dates. What a lie. What a lie.
Now the thing, Rob, is there. So I'm getting this dance at the State House too. I was arrested at the State House on March 1st, 2022. And I've decided that I need to look at all of the records from anybody that was working that day at the State House. The problem is that there's not one records person, one sole records person for the entire Massachusetts State House. Instead, there's at least 12 different records people, because there's at least 12 different agencies housed inside the State House. And the Secretary of State's office doesn't have a list of all of those agencies. So I had to get someone else to give me what may be a starter list. And I had to look myself for all of the websites where I would, and you're right, you should be able to, you can request these requests on a napkin. It doesn't have to be online. It doesn't have to be in a portal, even if they tell you it does. That's illegal for them to shuffle it that way. But in any event, I don't mind doing it online. So I submitted 12 different times my request to these different agencies asking for records concerning my name. At least 3 of them responded back, and they ended up replying, and they ended up calling me because they were so confused. They were like, "We don't get it. What do you mean? Like, why do you need, what are you looking for?" And I was like, why is this? It's not rocket science. I want you to search my name. Like, that's it. Like, I don't get why you're so effing confused. And I said, because I was involved in an incident that happened on this day, and even though you think that I may not be related at all to the Department of Veteran Affairs, it's possible that one of your employees mentioned it.
Yeah.
Done. Look it up. That's it. And they're like, it's going to take a long time. And I was like, why? Why would it? I don't get it. Just press enter. Type my name and press enter.
But even if it did take a long time, that's their job?
Yeah, that's their job.
Like,
listen, there's transparency and everything.
Taxpayers are paying you.
Williams told me that he has the ability to search.
I don't know whether it's, I asked for a long time ago. Oh, well, actually, let me get to this list, right? Because I FOIA'd the list too. There's more than one list, by the way, because in April 2022, somebody had a record that said that the police had, quote, a master list of protesters used for identification purposes. This was in April 2022. So I FOIA'd that. I said, I would like to have all the information concerning the master list of protesters from April 2022. You know how they responded to me? They replied back with the list of 15 that was written months later, that was written supposedly only in relation to the parade, the parade in June, the Dorchester Day Parade. So they have such gusto to claim that my records request for something that was an email written in April 2023, the answer to that is an email written in months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Sean just said, they're not used to doing their jobs. And that's exactly it. We have let all government employees get away with not doing their jobs for decades. I just found out today. Did you guys know? You probably did, Michelle, Queen of Foyas, that the executive branch, like the governor and the legislature, have been exempt from public records laws since 1997.
They have so Maura Healey campaigned saying that she wasn't going to do that.
Right, and she lied.
she was going to be transparent.
No.
She lied.
You know, of course she's not.
She's already,
Hey,
as of 6 months in, it was published on an article July 24th. She had already withheld some information that she was asked for, and she's claiming for something about some abortion pill correspondence. She was claiming that there was attorney-client privilege. What? Like all of this stuff is paid for with taxpayer money. All government relations. It doesn't matter what the issue or the topic is. The public has a right to know. There is no attorney-client privilege when it comes to public lawsuits.
Hey, Michelle, I remember back in February of 22 when we were out there, and the guy who showed up, Catherine, whoever the sergeant was, said, "Mr. Burke, we're going to do things differently this time." And I said, "Yeah, we're going to have our own show. Want to jump on?"
The day we started Woke in WuVille, yeah.
I remember Shayna going, "How do you know all these people's names? Are you making a list?" I remember her distinctly saying that to the Boston police in February. Are you making a list?
Detective
How do you know our
Gilmore.
names? Yeah, Gilmore. And that's something. I think I have a video of that, and because they went silent when she said that, and because there was too many coincidences about whatever how they were doing things, and I remember she said
which
that,
was also a recurring event that anytime Shayna was there, they acted accordingly, and anytime Shayna was not present, they were much harder on us and much more
just push us around.
Aggressive. Yeah.
So
well, and like Catherine has mentioned many times before, she went to like someplace in the northwest or something,
Ashland,
for Kim Driscoll, and the cops knew exactly who she was. So that and when I recently got FOIA documents, it proved that the Boston Regional Intelligence Center was sharing her name, my name, and Shannon's name around, and then there was another document about the FBI. I mean, that's not like small potatoes. Like and like, come on. So I've followed up. I've made FOIAs asking for any information about FOIA and protest. I'm sorry, not FOIA and protest, FBI and protest. I did one about BRIC and protesters, and usually I'm told it's too vague. And I was like, how is this vague? Like they're 2 words.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I want BRIC and I want protesters. And usually I'll give them a very short period of time because I'm really just interested in either hyper specifically about my arrest or the whole timeline between, December 2021 until present, really.
I remember
and the other thing is that we had, I did a whole deep dive in the megaphones and the bullhorns because we know that Sean Nelson, who's running for councilor at large, was arrested for peacefully protesting because he wouldn't give up the megaphone, which he had no reason to. And then only a week later, there was a flash protest that involved pretty much all the city councilors and the mayor, and they were passing around a bullhorn.
Yeah.
And I said, I'll be damned. I don't think that they submitted how'd they get a permit so quickly, huh? Because we've been getting threatened arrests for not having a permit. So I said, I want all the permit information. I want everything about bullhorns and everything. And they were like, we don't have anything about bullhorns. So I said, fine, I want everything about megaphones. Again, they're playing this game to delay it. And so eventually, when I got that big dump about my name, they gave me thousands of pages about these permits, park permits, et cetera, and it included correspondence between the employees of the records department who were trying to decide how to respond to my request.
Right. And they were like, here she is again.
Yeah, though that was a cop who said, the cop's office who said that, but they were saying, we just added this permit, the need to have a permit for the bullhorn because the 5th floor, meaning the mayor's office, wanted it. Because this is specifically, they said, in response to the coffee hour protest. So one of the employees said, should I give her all of the old ones that wouldn't have the information about the bullhorns, or only the new ones? So very selective.
Right. And then
right there in red.
you also had one about the budget for the coffee hours, right? Where where there was correspondence between the records people or whoever, and they said, "Oh, the budget was $100, but we spent 108. Should I adjust it for the records request?"
Right.
Like,
that's how
what?
it works. One of the financial directors was, has since been charged with smuggling money and drugs into the prison system. So that's just more of a reflection on what Mayor Wu's financial department is really like.
Yeah.
Frida is her name. But I had and they never want to give anything about the cops. Nothing about the cops, because I asked for that coffee hour budget, specifically saying, how much are the police being paid to be there? And they won't give that information. They said, we asked the cops, and they said that they're all on regular duty. So you mean and first of all, I don't care whether they're on regular duty or not. I want to know how much all those regular duty cops are being paid. How many are there? And they won't answer it. But, having 14 regular duty cops all directed to the park, the one park that doesn't need it, right? It's not Clifford Park. It's, in Rosendale or something. That just seems expensive and a waste of resources.
Right.
The longest FOIA I've been waiting for was how much money has been spent protecting Wu's house. They took more than a year to get back to me. And when they finally did, they gave me someone else's record request. They answered, I opened it up and it was like, dear so-and-so. And I was like, that's not me. And they're like, here's the information you asked for. I was like, this isn't what I asked for. Mm-hmm. And then they mark it closed. They mark it complete in their portal. So I'm really mad because now I have to start over again.
So Michelle, did you report that to the Secretary of State?
I have fallen flat. I have not appealed any of these, and that was one of the things that's on my to-do list, and that's how come I know that I have 83, because I've since started a whole spreadsheet trying to really wrap my mind around what has happened. So I appreciate that Mass Free Press account, kind of following through in that regard.
Yeah, that's good to know that that the Secretary of State's office actually responded.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in 10 days.
I really want to know, Catherine, is when I've asked more than once, I would like correspondence between Ayanna Pressley and the city of Boston when they wrote that press release saying electeds of color won't stand for the
She
lost
disappeared.
She lost her. What's all right? She was the first caller. She's the caller of the week. She's the caller.
Saying that electeds of color won't stand for the right-wing racist attacks on the mayor or something.
Yeah,
I got her down. Those electeds of color condemned our protests.
I got her down in D.C. when I saw her. She was outside with Cori Bush, yelling and screaming about racism, and I kept on asking her, I'm from the Boston area, and you're a carpetbagger, and I just wondering what kind of racism you're talking. Go ahead, you jump in. Take the call, obviously. I'm Cynthia Maloney.
Hello, sorry. I don't know what
I'm
happened.
sorry, my call failed, and I'm taking the whole show. But I wanted to just add at least this part is that I FOIA'd very specifically about Ayanna Pressley and Kevin Hayden being involved in that press release and how that impacted me being arrested only, less than a month later, really.
Yeah.
And because Kevin Hayden is the Suffolk County District Attorney, he should not be signing documents that say that he's going to stamp out people.
Right. He's not supposed to play politics.
To protest.
He's not supposed to play politics.
Right. So I was given, I requested stuff between their offices and the city of Boston. I was told it was too vague. So finally I followed up and I said, okay, I want to know specifically about this press release. And I was told that no records exist. How is it that, like, it was a high number. It was every black person of color city official. So there's like at least 6 of them, 6 or 7, right? How is it that there are no records exist if this press release was coordinated? Was it all via text message? Was it all in person? Was it all over the telephone? How did that happen? How is it that no records exist when supposedly 7 City of Boston offices were coordinating to get that letter written?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then therein lies this question about the text messages, because I've never been given any. I think only one time I've gotten a text message, and it was a text message from Sergeant O'Brien of taking a picture of Shannon standing in front of the Wu's house, and I was like, well, that's proof that they can save text messages. And I've seen other people get FOIA responses only recently with text messages. So this idea that text messages don't happen is also a lie, because it does happen. And I've made FOIA requests about WhatsApp, Signal, and told, no, we don't do that. It's a lie.
There's your girlfriend with the white top and the green flower on down in Washington, D.C. with Cori Bush. She ran away from me. I said, I'm a friend of Michelle Effendi's.
Wait, what?
He's showing a picture of Ayanna Pressley at a press conference
in Washington, D.C.
In D.C.
It's I had to do that.
But
I'm very disappointed in her. I lived in Randolph. Everybody was so excited when she got elected, and I was kind of like, oh, cool, but this is just the first time when all this like stuff started happening, and I was like, hello, I don't like you, and couldn't get a hold of her. And then she finally had this Zoom meeting, censored town hall, and I sat in on it, and I could not believe the stuff coming out of her mouth. I was like, whoa.
She's a dummy. She's a dummy too. She's not that bright.
Oh
she's a dummy.
Yeah. But so thank you for calling in. You're our first official caller on Woke and WuVille.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Caller of the week.
Thank you for the situation.
Yeah. And I'm sure we're going to be bringing more light to the situation, because it's like every time we look at an issue, we find like 37 other issues within the one issue. So like I've already, just by trying to do a little bit of research before we got on the show tonight, I've already learned so much more that we need to look into. I'm like, Jesus, it doesn't end with the corruption here.
Right. And I guess it's been a long-standing issue. Like, I wouldn't just blame Wu on it. This was also a problem for previous mayors and even, like you were saying, the governor as well. So apparently an article was written about it, and
However,
the excuse is like, well, why do people need it? They're getting denied because we don't know why they need it. I don't
however,
need to tell you why I need it. I want it. That's it. Period.
however, because it's been such a long-standing problem within the mayoral administration of Boston, Wu hired more people to work in the records department to make it a more efficient office, and clearly that's not happening. So
Wait a second. William said he's got a limited staff, and he says he's down a bare bone.
I sent, there's an article that says that Wu said that they hired more people for that department.
They're all vaccinated. They're all out sick. They're vaccinated.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Michelle. We'll talk to you
Thank you
soon.
as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there you go.
Yeah. We could probably go on for hours with Michelle Effendi's FOIAs, though, because she is definitely the champion of public records requests. Anyway, so yeah, I found out a whole bunch of information today. So you visited Sean Williams. Sean Williams is the director of the Public Records Department at City Hall.
Yeah, he said, but he told me he was. Then I looked at his email. He has some other title. Let me see.
Sean Williams, Esquire.
No, let me
because
see
he's
what,
an attorney.
yeah,
Which,
but he
like,
again,
why do so many public officials, or whatever we call them, need to be attorneys?
lawfare.
Right. Because they know all the loopholes to get away with doing things. They need to put the people who are directors or made to be in selected seats have to be lawyers, because they need to know how to get away with the corruption.
Mr. Sean Williams here on his email. Let me see what it says here. Come on. Give me an email that doesn't work.
And also, from what I saw today, it looks like Sean Williams' salary for 2021 was $102,000.
Well, whatever.
And the Attorney General sued the City of Boston Public Records over some omitting some public records, like purposely leaving out records when fulfilling a request in 2021. And then in 2022, once Wu was in office, he gets a $5,000 raise, it looks like. So the director of a department that's costing taxpayers money because they're getting sued by the Attorney General is getting a $5,000 raise on his salary after getting the department sued.
Well, Mr. Williams,
wouldn't that be like grounds for termination? And I feel like that happens a lot within many departments in Boston, probably in Massachusetts, probably in the whole country, where when corruption happens, instead of people being terminated, they're promoted and given raises.
City of Boston.
Or even some of them, when they're terminated for a little while, they come back a couple years later and nobody cares anymore.
City of Boston, Sean A. Williams, Esquire, Director of Public Records. He's just another hack. That's all. He's just another hack.
Said, Rob.
Huh?
That's what I said.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm saying it. Let me say it, will you? I can say it. Can I say it? I'm the one to talk to him. Have you ever talked to Sean Williams? Have you ever talked to Sean Williams? Why not? Why not?
Because I haven't needed to yet.
What are you talking about?
I haven't needed to talk to Sean Williams yet.
Time.
Time's up.
Time's up.
So Rob, did you know this? This is a really interesting fact here.
What is it?
That the legislature, the governor, and the Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts have claimed exemption from public records laws since 1997.
So is in Congress. So is in the U.S. Senate. So is in all these hacks. They're all immune from anybody coming after them. That's why they can lie about everything, and nothing happens.
Massachusetts is the only state
Well, this is where they hatch all these
in which
ideas.
this is the case, and one of only 2 states in which the governor claims exemption to public records laws. And then, so when Mara Healy got elected, they asked her, if she was going to uphold that exemption or claiming that exemption or whatever, and she said that she wasn't going to.
She lied.
She said that she was not going to claim an exemption for public records laws.
Lied.
However, 6 months into office, she says she has so far closed off the following records: her correspondence with legislative leaders, email and phone logs, records about the hiring process of the MBTA general manager, sexual harassment complaints, and emails detailing how her administration acquired a stockpile of the abortion pill mifepristone. Her administration acquired a stockpile of an abortion pill. What is going on?
You have crazy people.
What is going on?
These are all crazy people. You got to start there. They have to prove that they're not crazy. They need to take a functional MRI, okay? And maybe there's another one too. That will tell us how crazy these people are.
I'm reading this from a website called Axios Boston, and it says many entries in the governor's daily calendar for days requested by media organizations were released with details redacted. Haley's aides said that giving up the records would interfere with the governor's duties and that some calendar details like meeting locations were omitted for security reasons. You are not a private entity. You are not a private citizen. You have no right to omit information for security reasons.
They don't care.
You're in public office.
They don't care.
I know they don't care.
They don't care.
But the public needs to understand how serious this is.
They don't care because they can get away with it. Everybody that would care is all in on it. They're all in on it. All these deep staters, administrative deep state people, they're all in on the game. I mean,
yes, Michelle. Yeah, they all campaign on transparency.
They all campaign on lies because they don't want to be accountable for anything.
Yes, Shannon, thank you. It doesn't matter, Rob, if they don't care. We have to care and hold them accountable.
What are you telling me that for? I understand totally. It's the people that are sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah. So
worrying about what's going to happen. Listen, folks, here's the deal. You people are all in the crosshairs. You're all in the crosshairs. What are you waiting for? Them to slaughter you? They are coming after you. I'm sorry to tell you that.
Yeah. So, like, alert the presses. Like, people need to care about this stuff. This is not how government is supposed to operate. Government, we pay for the government. Maybe not me at the moment, but I have for many years, okay? We pay for the government. This is where taxes go. This is the definition of taxation without representation. These people are not here to represent us. The government is a private entity at this point.
Look at the fight the state treasurer is having. She's trying to open the books up on Beacon Hill. They're not going to listen to anybody. They don't care about it. The auditor. Okay, but she's trying to get the books open. These people don't care about anything that we say. All they do is lie, and that's it. That guy, Ron Marino, whatever his name is, he lied to me 5 years ago about something in healthcare. He told me some
buy stuff.
Huh?
I'm paying sales tax.
With me?
Yeah. I'm not saying like there's I don't know that we could possibly ever get people to stop paying taxes. The point is people should care that we have no representation. Like to just go on with life with the mindset of that's just the way it is. This is how things go. We're never going to be able to change it. Blah, 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 blah. Like, people, what kind of world are you leaving behind for your children? It's this bad right now, where the government is telling us to F off right to our face. Everything that we ask them, they ignore us. They are literally telling us to our faces, behind our backs, right in front of us, without looking at us, that they don't care what we have to say. They don't care what we want them to do. They don't care what we oppose of. They're doing it anyway. And people are still, I'm talking about the people who know what's going on. I'm not talking about people on the other side who still think that like democracy is a thing and that
we don't. First of all,
I'm
time
talking
out.
about. Hold on. I'm talking about. What?
I said time out for a second.
Oh, I thought you said I'm out. I'm like, what?
I said no. You're cycling. Hold on.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not, because there's people watching this and there's people in the comments. And I mean, there's only 2 people in the comments. I don't know. It says there's 15 people watching it, but the people who know what's going on, the people in the echo chamber, the people who like to show up at events and, complain on their social media, the people that understand what's going on need to be angry. Like we need to alert the presses, literally be public about it. We're not doing anything about it. We're just sitting here complaining, thinking that, if we sit here and complain, I don't know what's supposed to happen. Oh, thank you, Michelle. I'll fix that. What are you trying to say, Rob? Time out for what?
Well, first of all, when you hear the word democracy, we don't live in a democracy. We live in a
That's what I'm
representative.
saying.
Can I get the last word out? We live in a
Sorry,
representative republic. Well, stop being upset, because that's what they
want.
To
the republic.
We live in a representative republic, not a democracy. When you hear the word democracy, the next step after democracy is you're going right into the big communist vat of junk. So that's why we live in a representative republic. And the problem is that the people that are supposed to represent us they don't believe it anymore. When you hear this democracy crap, that's one person, one vote. That's not us. That's just not us. And again, all these people are talking to you. The first question is, like, how much money you're getting from, these guys working? I'm tired of these people telling me about, if I do anything, I'm going to lose my job. You're going to lose your job anyways, guys. They're fucking angry. Excuse my language. Ding, ding, ding. But the bottom line is this. Yeah, we've been carrying the ball. And that's why we're dangerous, because we've been carrying the ball. All these other people.
We're not dangerous. They're trying to classify us as dangerous.
To them, we're dangerous. That's all. Okay.
To who?
To them.
Who's them?
The people that arrest you, Shannon, put you in court, tie you up for years.
No.
Well, okay. What?
We are not dangerous to them, and they do not think that we're dangerous. They are trying to make the public think that we are dangerous so that they can justify the actions that they take against us.
So
it's very serious, the way that we say things. People are listening. We are not dangerous people, and they want the public to think that
I don't know. I don't know how I can be any clearer. We're dangerous to the people who are trying to control us, because we will talk about things that matter. And the other people are just such useful idiots. It's a waste of time talking to them. I'm sorry to say, it's a tough job. But I'm not going to sit here and get really crazy about it. But we have to be going forward. And what I'm saying is, the people that are sitting on the sidelines, there's no place to go, guys.
Who's those people?
I'm looking at. I'm looking. Some of the people are calling in, and I'm glad they're calling in.
Sitting on the sidelines.
Okay. I don't know. I'm gonna go.